about assertive community treatment and recovery. And the first person got up and started speaking and talking about recovery, and this hand went up in the middle of the room, and everybody looked, and the person said, "What exactly do you mean by recovery?" And the person just sort of went, well, I think our speakers are going to cover that. So the next speaker got up and started talking, and sure enough, a few minutes later, a hand went up. "What do you mean by recovery?" Couldn't really get an answer out of that speaker. And there must have been about 3 or 4 speakers, and every single time, we all just kind of waited for the hand to go up, you know? That was Molly. That hand belonged to Molly Klaus. And I remember sitting there, this was probably 2000 or so, and I remember sitting there and I thought, I'm gonna know her, because I like that. I like that about her. And I sat with her at lunch, and we talked, and she kind of pulled me into Kentucky Can with the Bridges program, and I floated in and out for a while, and then she pulled me back to Kentucky Stars with the recovery support program. And then she called me and she said, "So I've got this idea. Here's what I need you to do. I want you to come to my lake house in 2 weeks for the weekend and go through a train the trainer program for Kentucky peer specialists." I had not been through the peer specialist training yet, mind you, but she wanted me to do that. And then the following week, I needed to go to Lexington and sit through the peer specialist training. And then I had 2 days to take my test, because the week after that, I was going to Louisville to do a peer specialist training. So Molly said this to me, and if it had been anybody else, I would have said, "You are out of your mind." But I knew better. So I said, "Well, let me think about it." Because it was over my birthday and the whole everything, and she called me back the next day and she said, "Well, have you thought about it yet? Because I kind of need to know." And sure enough, I went to the lake house and I became a trainer, and then I took my training and did several trainings, and I've trained several of the people in this room, which just warms my heart. But it really kind of always goes back to that forum that day where I wanted to meet Molly, because she inspired me. She was my peer support when I needed it. And I could talk all day long about how great therapists are, because I am one, but the truth is, peer specialists have way more power than therapists. So that said, thank you very much. I am honored. I'm gonna let Molly off the hook for not being here, because when you're floating the Grand Canyon, kind of a big deal. You can't really rearrange that, but I do want to thank my partner Jill for being here with me. And for putting up with me when I call her and say, "So Molly called, and here's what she needs, and so here's what I need," and then I get animal care and all the things that I need. So that support's just been amazing also. And I could go on and on and on about all the amazing people in the room who have touched my life, but just to quickly backtrack a bit, I'm gonna make her cry again, because I didn't get to say this when Vicki came up to get her award, but as the chair of the Advisory Council for Wellness Connection, I can tell you that I knew that it was going to be a big thing, and I knew it was going to work. I knew it was magic, as David says. But when Vicki walked in, probably the second day we were open, and I walked over and I sat down and talked to her, and she was telling me about herself and what she did and where she's come from, and I said, those skills are really going to come in handy here one day. We are going to need those skills. And she kind of looked at the floor, and she said, "Yeah, I don't think I can do that anymore. It's been a really long time." And I said, "Well, you know what? you might not think you can do that anymore, but I know you can. And I have watched her go from that person to getting an award, being a peer specialist, being a trained facilitator of all the NAMI connections, and she's been through family to family, and she serves on the board of NAMI Bowling Green. And you know, I can't say enough about when you see somebody's life change because you believe in them, that makes everything I do worthwhile. Everything. So thank you all so much.